In this video, we're going to be talking about Severance Season 2, Episode 5. I believe it's called Trojan's Horse. We're going to dive into that, theories I have after watching that episode. So step one, the first theory that I have is that this man, Irving, after Season 1, and we know that Irving has this background of being in the Navy. So my theory is that Irving is part of this like covert operation type thing where like even though he's outside and he's not in Lumon anymore, he's still investigating it. And the people that he's on the phone with at the phone booth, some sort of like third party entity that's also investigating Lumon and trying to figure out what's actually going on. Bert's like watching him and he's like, what are you doing here? And so he goes to Bert, basically confronts him. Bert tells him that he showed up at his doorstep and all that sort of stuff. And then Bert invites him over to dinner with his husband named Fields. And so my theory is that Fields is also a part of Lumon and he's also severed, because why would Christopher Walken's character be severed and then Fields, you know, is just like cool with it? It doesn't make any sense to me, because Mark S., the reason his character got severed is because his wife died. And so he's trying to grapple with like the emotions and try not to feel it. The next theory is that Fields is the dude at the beginning of the show, that mysterious guy that is on the floor and he's doing that whistling. He gets those like utensils or whatever that we've all seen when you go to the dentist and everybody cringes because no one likes going to the dentist. Gets them and then he goes away. So I think that that's actually Fields. Honestly think he's probably putting people back together or something like that so that he can send them out into the outside world. Maybe like other companies or something like that, because why else would you kind of have this technology and go through this entire testing period where you're trying to basically make human robots? It's a company, right? It's for profit, so you want to scale it. And if it were me, I'm thinking like, okay, well, what's the implication of this, you know, in the future? Can we obviously do this and create these human robots, the perfect worker, and then basically sell them to other companies? So that's what I think the export haul is that they're basically going down there and putting people back together or whatever they're doing, and then they're sending them out, you know, exporting them, if you will, to other companies or to the outside so they could do further testing, or they're just straight up selling to people, selling their souls to like other companies. Like maybe Japan's like, hey, we want some severed people over here. So Lumon's like, okay, you know, we'll send you some. And they export it. So that's my theory on that end. Next theory, Miss Huang. What is a young girl even doing at Lumon? My theory is that the entire reason that she's there is because it's a kid, right? Like Lumon, all they want to do is they want to control their employees and they want to be able to manipulate them in the way that they can see fit. And who better to do that to than a child? We saw that we had an employee that was at Lumon that was actually conducting research. So my opinion, my theory is that Miss Huang is there and she's not severed. So she's there really to conduct research and to be actually totally lucid, you know, her outside self and her inside self. She's not severed. So she just totally remembers everything and she's reporting back to corporate to help facilitate the testing and all that sort of stuff. Super creepy that she's even there in the first place. But again, that's my whole thing about Miss Huang, is that she's kind of like the teacher's pet type of character. You know, she's holding Lumon like to the most highest of standards and she's gonna like live or die by them. And we see that in this episode when she talks to Mr. Milchuk about his performance review. So she's literally like teacher's pet, totally, you know, trying to make sure that he's doing everything by the book. And she also says that why would you even give them a funeral? Because that's like, you know, treating them like people, which she feels like obviously they're not people. So it's like if she, you know, felt that way, then that doesn't make sense that she would be severed. So that's my theory about Miss Huang. Reintegration sickness. Obviously, this man decided that he wanted to, you know, get reintegrated or whatever. After that first season, that dude was super sketch with the bleeding nose and all that sort of stuff. So Mark trying to go forward with the reintegration is actually a pretty brave and big step. Some coughing, things of that nature. Now he's at the point where he's actually, you know, starting to kind of blur the lines. He's seeing Miss Casey when he's on the outside. He's seeing it on the inside and vice versa. So my opinion is he continues to get more sick. I don't know if he's going to pass away or what. Let me know what you think about the whole sickness in the comments. Unknown, I guess I would say, because he is the main character. So it's only season 2. You know, you can't get somebody sick and kill him off in season 2 because you're probably going to at least do 5 seasons. So I don't know. We'll see.